So today I'm going to do a mixture of little sections to make up one big massive class. So basically what I recommend you do is start off with the warm-up first. That's essential. Okay, please do not go into other sections without having done the warm-up. Once you've done the warm-up, you can then move into either the stability section or the mobility section. And then you finish off with the cool down. So if you want a short class, for example, you might do the warm-up, followed by the stability, then the cool down. Or you might do the warm-up, followed by the mobility and the cool down. If you fancy doing a little bit of longer class, then you can string the sections together. You could do the warm-up, the stability, into the mobility, or the other way around, and then cool down, okay? So whatever you do, you'll always do the warm-up as your first section and the cool down as your last section. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to come to lay on our back in what we call usually a supine position. So from here, I just want us to think about where our body is, just like we do when we're in a class situation. So we're feeling where our toes are connected to the floor. We're aware of our feet, of our heels, of all the bones in the feet that are connected to the floor. We're then thinking about the knees hip width apart, drawing up through the pelvic floor, so the front and the back passage, just a gentle 20% effort, 20-30%. We're then thinking about the belt muscle, drawing in. So imagine you've got 10 notches on your belt, you're just going to gently draw in to about the second or the third notch on that belt. From there, take the mind towards the breath. So in Pilates, I speak a lot about breathing east and west. And as long as you can feel the rib cage expanding as you're breathing in and out, that's what we're aiming for. But we're aiming to keep the abdominals gently drawn in. The shoulders, you can raise the shoulders up towards the ears, slide them down towards your hips, very gently. So you've got a long swan neck. And have the eyes directly looking towards the ceiling. So from here, we're going to start with an ab curl first, curling up through the top half of the body. So I want you to follow a rainbow. Imagine there's a rainbow along the ceiling, going all the way down towards your knees. You're going to take a deep breath in. As you exhale, just gently lift, follow the rainbow over the knees, and then come back to the mat. Let's repeat that. Breathe in, exhale, lift. If your head aches, then bring the hand towards the back of the head. Breathing in, breathing out, lifting up. Be mindful that as you lift up, I'm going to exaggerate here, that you don't tuck and curl the pelvis. Keep your lower spine, your coccyx, rooted through to the earth, hooked into the mat. Let's switch arms. If you're using the arm, inhale, exhale, lift, and softly come back. Keep repeating that. Inhale, lift. Rib cage drawn down towards the pelvis without tucking the pelvis. And again, lifting up, coming back down. And let's take one more, lifting up, coming back down, and then from there, just softly turn the head from side to side, and then come back to your center point to find the alignment on the ceiling again. And then from here, we're going to just keep an eye on those shoulders, keeping the chest open. And we're going to take a gentle breathe in, exhale, allow the legs to roll to one side and come back to center. So softly just rolling from one side to the center, like so. If you wish to, you can obviously have your arms out to the side. And again, it's up to you to judge where you can take the knees. If you feel too much pull on the lower back and it's uncomfortable, then decrease the range of motion. For some people, they feel fine just to allow the legs to flop and it doesn't feel like it's pulling too much through the back. And again, being mindful of any back conditions you may have, decrease the range of motion to about 45 degrees. So we're actually here just rotating through the mid-spine, a little bit like a wringing out effect with a dishcloth, just gently just working through that mid-back. If you wish to, you can bring the feet together. Just experience the change of where the foot position is. And decide yourself which one feels better for your body. If you can allow yourself to roll a little bit further, just to feel the stretch through the oblique muscles here on the side of the torso. Just allowing the breathing to flow naturally. If you really want to get into the breathing, that'll be inhale to go down, exhale to lift, because that's where the legs are at their heaviest. You need to exhale now, help to a certain degree to help to bring the legs back to center. So once we've done both sides equally, we've done quite a few reps there, which is nice, just to mobilize through that spine. We're going to come to the lower spine. So place the hands beside the hips, feet flat on the floor, knees pointed towards the ceiling. Eyes directly above you, chest relaxed as you're breathing in and breathing out. From here, double check the legs aren't too far away, because we're going to move into a pelvic tilt and up into a lumbar roll. Now, if you feel that you need to just stretch out beforehand, we can do a little bit of a leg extension here, just working through the legs, mobilizing. If you just want to keep a foot just relaxed here, okay, so there's no pointing, or just gently flex the foot. And we're getting into the hips, the knees, stretching out through the knees, and then also coming into the ankle joint as well. And then just gently pushing that through towards the ceiling. So you're feeling the grounding down of the pelvis into your mat and the elongation of the leg through the back of the leg and through the heel towards the ceiling, or just softly through the toes towards the ceiling, depending which method you're using. Obviously the heel is more intensity. We're just trying to really lengthen and open up through the back of those legs. So one more on that left leg, and then we'll finish there and we'll move into our lumbar roll. So from here, setting the feet up where you feel they need to be, not too close, yeah, not too far away. So deep breath in, exhale and begin to curl. So just a small curl to begin with. And as we curl to begin with, I want you to keep the buttocks nice and loose, so we just end up mobilizing through the lumbar spine. So for some of you, this may be a good place to kind of stay, just this lumbar rolling here. You can then come higher towards the lower thoracic area. So we're moving up towards those lower 10th, 11th, 12th ribs here. So working our way up. And then if you wish to, obviously squeeze the buttocks now and focus more to lift the hips. You extend through the hip, push through the hands and softly come back down. So we're still mobilizing through that spine. Our intention is not to create a lot of intensity here. You'll still feel, obviously, your muscles working and contracting to support the hips as they go up. Keeping that breath flowing, checking in with the shoulders here. Deep breath in. Exhale, float and press through the arms to give you some assistance. If you feel it pulling too much through the knee, take the feet away a little bit. Good, let's take one more when you're ready. Deep breath in, exhale, curling through. And then coming back down again. Good, from here, slowly releasing. Let's come into our double knee folds or single knee folds. So I'll start with the single knee fold, and then if you wish to, be mindful of any spine conditions, we can then move to a double knee fold. If it's too much, please stick with the single knee fold. So from here, we take a deep breath in, exhale, we raise the right leg up to a tabletop position, and then we gently float back down again. Inhale, exhale, floating through with the second leg. So I'm just working here through hip knee flexion, and extending the leg back towards the floor. So I'm keeping a check-in with the stability of my pelvis. I want to ensure that there's kind of no dipping or kind of rocking around. There'll be a little bit possibly, especially as you change over from one side to the other, but it's got to be minimal. I really want to think about the stability of the pelvis as we just work through that leg. Again, we're just warming up through these hips here, but we're keeping our Pilates concentration and our awareness of what our body is doing as we're doing that. So I'm going to progress onwards. If you want to stick with the one leg option, the single leg, that's fine. Just keep traveling. Make sure the heel goes down between each single leg lift. So from here, progressing on to the double leg lift, remember to help keep the spine even in a stronger position, you can do what you call imprinting. So you'll breathe in, imagine you've got your pieces of string between your ribs and your pelvis. You'll exhale. As you exhale, slide the ribs, breathing out towards the hips, and then maintain this connection. Avoid letting kind of like the ribs kind of flare towards the ceiling. So keep that rib to hip connection. You then raise the one leg up to the tabletop. Inhale, exhale, check that rib to hip connection, and raise the second leg off. The right leg goes back down and the left leg goes back down, and repeat again. Up, rib to hip connection, up, down and down. Rib to hip connection again, keep checking in, up, up, down, down. And then go with the other left leg leading, okay, to keep the body and the mind balanced, as I say. Up, up, down, down. The heels connect back to the floor every time. It's a warm-up, it's not an exercise, this one at the moment. Okay, so we're just mobilizing through the hips, thinking about the stability through the ribs, the spine, and the shoulder girdle. Down, down. When you're ready, just softly extend out, take a stretch if you feel that you need to. I'd like you to roll round to your side and come up to a seated position. We're just going to finish off with the mermaid from side to side. So from here, hands come beside the body. Now, as you're sat here, think about sitting back onto your sit bones. Take a deep breath in, and we're going to raise the right arm up and over towards the ceiling. Inhale and exhale, stretch, coming back. Inhale and exhale, stretch, coming back. Keep floating. The legs can either be straight out in front, bent or straight, or crossed like mine. It's entirely up to you. Feel the stretch through the side of the body as we mobilize through the spine sideways. So try not to rush it too much. Try and get through. Think about the quality of the movement, yeah, rather than, rushing it and missing out on the best bits, which is that lovely, nice stretch to the side. If you wish to, you can hold that there just for a couple of breaths if that feels nice. If it doesn't, just keep floating from one side to the other and then come back. And then inhale, exhale, float over to one side. Keep that pause there, and then softly come back through again. Take a deep breath in and relax the shoulders down. And then we go into our stability phase or into the mobility phase, whichever one you choose. So we're now going to start our mobility section for the spine here as well, and also for the hips. So we're going to start on our back. So again, as always, set the body up before you start. Just have awareness of the foot placement, the hips and the knees in line with the hips. Then think about the level of the pelvis, drawing in through the core, lifting up through the pelvic floor. So both of these, the core engaged and the pelvic floor lifting, is lifting to about 20 or 30% effort, not too much. The shoulders are relaxed down the back and the neck is long and lengthened, and the eyes are looking directly towards the ceiling here. So double checking that the feet aren't too far away, because we're going to start with a lumbar roll. So we're going to move then into the shoulder bridge. So from here, I'm going to take a deep breath in. I'll just move down a little bit because I will use my arms. Inhale, exhale, softly curl through that spine, lifting through the bridge. You would have mobilized the spine in the warm-up phase anyway, so you should have done that section before coming into this section. Breathing in, exhale, curling up through the spine, lifting equally through those hips and melting the spine like butter on toast back to the mat. If you feel like, check in with the knees, if you feel like they're splaying out, press the big toe into the mat and that will help articulate through the spine back down. Deep breath in, keep that breath flowing, so we're really kind of mobilizing through those internal organs, getting that blood flowing up and down through the spine, through the body. If you wish to make it a little bit more challenging, you can then squeeze the glutes to keep the hips lifted, take the arms over, bring the arms back and float back down towards the mat. Good, let's take 3 more of those. Inhale, exhale, curling up through that spine, lifting through those buttocks, arms softly coming as far as your shoulder flexibility will allow. Eyes looking directly towards the ceiling. So, zipping the pubic bone as we start, all the way, lifting, gluteals activating, hips to the ceiling, arms going over. Neck is soft, arms are soft, stretch the arms if you can. Good, 1 more. Inhale, exhale, work through, curl through that lower spine, lift through the hips. Arms come over the head, looking directly towards the ceiling. Big toe into the ground, press the arms into the ground as they come back and slowly articulate. Stretch out through the hamstring if you feel that you need to for 2 or 3 breaths here. And then we're going to move on to the 1-leg circle exercise. Now, if you have a band, you can place the band, okay, with the leg bent around the thigh, and then you just cross the band over. Please be mindful of kind of any veins around this area, and then you can just work doing this way. To be honest, you may find it a little bit easier with the band over the foot. The other option you can use is a yoga strap, if you have a yoga strap, or if you have a towel to hand as well. So just place the towel around the foot and then we're good to go. So from here, I'm just going to lower this leg a little bit further because I'm going to do some leg circles. Okay, so otherwise that leg can hit the other one. So from here, just working through mobility of the hip, I'm just going to start by using the band or the yoga strap or the towel to actually support the weight of the leg. Take the weight of the leg. And I'm just going to do about 5 circles outwards, thinking about stabilizing through my core. And then I'm going to do 5 circles inwards. If you don't use the yoga strap, band or towel, you're just basically making sure that these legs are doing a lot more of the work, and also it's harder work on the core as well. Good, then keep the leg up there, you can swap it over. Obviously put your foot into the band on the other side with the other leg, and then just going around again. Just taking a few circles outwards. Nice and smooth, and then you can go the other way as well. We're going to repeat it again on each leg. I just want you to get a sense at the moment of just a nice smooth fluid movement with the band. Okay, and then we'll go again. So when you're ready, take the other foot, the first foot, into the band, and let's go through this now with a real focus. Now you've got the feel of it. So leg extended up towards the ceiling, or it can be bent. If it's bent, remember you'll need the band or the towel wrapped around the actual leg. but it does feel a little bit easier usually with the band or the towel over the foot with the leg straight. So deep breath in, exhale, float out and around. So pick the size of your circle now. You can use the hand to guide it. So maybe drawing around sort of like the size of a car wheel. We're doing 5 circles outwards. This may also feel quite nice on the lower back as well as you do this. Bring the leg inwards now. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And you want to try and keep the hips nice and stable. So they shouldn't kind of be rocking around everywhere. Good. I think we're up to about 5 circles inwards there. And then swap it over. Other foot into the band. Set yourself up. And then when you're ready, deep breath in. Exhale, float out and around. So we're now had that feeling from the first time we did it, and we're just kind of really thinking about drawing those circles. Just keep thinking about that hip stability as well, so you could have one hand on the hip. And then just slowly allow it to go around the other way as well. Just feeling that stretch through the back of the leg as it comes over the body. And then going around. Breath out to go around, lifting, thinking about up through that pelvic floor, in through the belt muscle, that 20 or 30% effort. And then gently bring the leg back to the center point and then release off and loose the band or the towel to the side. So coming to lay round onto your side, you may want to put a cushion underneath the head here or hold the head, because we are going to roll through the spine here. So if you have osteoporosis, please limit the amount of rotation that you do, or if you have any spinal concerns, but it will help to mobilize through the mid-thoracic spine here. My legs are bent to help keep me balanced, because I'm not trying to aim for this to be a balance exercise, so it's a mobility. We're going to take the arm forwards. We're going to take a deep breath in. I'm just going to relax over to the side and then softly come back. So we could do a few reps like this to begin with. Just allowing the body just to flow. Breath in and breath out. So if you have any spinal concerns, and you may just roll a little bit as if you're just reaching out to give somebody something to the side of the body. So we could also mobilize our scapula, our shoulder blade here. So you could reach forwards a little bit, but then please bring the arm back into the socket before you take the arm over. So then we just reach forwards a little bit, protraction of the scapula there as the arm goes forwards. Retract scapula first and then rotate round as far as you feel the body will allow you to go. And just softly keep that breath going. Exhale. If you're concerned about range of motion as you take the arm behind the body, what you could do here to limit range of motion and protect your spine is inhale. And you will find you can't go as far as well. Let's take one more. Think about drawing in through that belt muscle as well. Exhale. And then softly come back through. Let's come up onto all fours now. We're going to just mobilize through the mid-back, and then we're going to tuck the pelvis into a pelvic tilt. So either fold up your mat if you're on a hard surface there, the heel of the hands, or allow yourself to come up onto your fists. From here, you take a deep breath in, exhale, and tuck through the spine. Inhale, softly come back. Elongate through the spine and look up if you wish to. Exhale, round through the spine. Feel the stretch. Inhale to softly come back. Relax through the shoulders, lengthen through the spine.
And again, inhale, exhale, rounding, nose towards the pubic bone. Softly elongate through an inhale. Rounding for the last time. Draw the belly button in. And then inhale back through to a lengthened spine position. So last time we were lying this way. We're now going to move to the other side. And we're going to come on to do the chest open the other way. So set yourself up, lock under the head or hand, bend the knees, and then we begin first of all just with the chest opener. Breathe in, exhale, float round, softly come back. Remember what I said the other side, that if you wish to, you'd inhale, exhale to here, and then inhale, and that would stop you from going too far. So we're just softly working through the mid-spine, almost like a wringing out of the spine effect, actually. And then we can also add in our scapular glide, our shoulder blade glide. So we can reach the arm forwards, bring it back, and then go back. So as you do that, you feel the shoulder blade just glide over your rib cage. You may also feel that one side can go a little bit further than the other, as I usually say. Good, so we're going to take a couple more. So reaching forwards and then opening out, keeping that belly button drawn in. Stretching forwards, feeling that glide, and then coming around, opening through. And coming back to centre. And then when you're ready, you go on to your cool down phase. So hopefully you have worked through your warm up, your stability, your mobility phases, or just stability or just mobility, and now you've come to your cool down phase. So we're going to start by stretching out and just finishing off, relaxing that body after our session. So you may want to use a band or a yoga strap or a towel. We'll start with the hamstring stretch to begin with. So you're going to take the foot into the band or the strap. Now the bottom leg can be bent or straight. We're just going to softly feel the elongation through the back of the leg first. We're feeling the stretch through that right leg. And we're just holding it there and registering that feeling. That stretch, allowing it time to kind of adjust and accept that length. And then when we're ready, we're going to just take a soft breath in, exhale, and see if you can stretch the leg a little bit more. So if your leg is bent, you're aiming to straighten it first. If it's already straight, then you can just slightly bring it over the body. And just softly holding that there. Allowing the breath to be very soft, so we're not trying to hold the breath here, it needs to keep the flow going. Inhale, exhale, stretch it a little bit further. And then when you're ready, swapping it over to the other leg. Just while it's there. So the bottom leg can be bent or straight. So start with recognizing and having an awareness of the stretch first. Breath in, breath out, soft breaths here. Then when you're ready, take a deep breath in and exhale to stretch it a little bit further. So again, just to recap, if the knee's bent, you're aiming to straighten it first. It may only move a little bit, that's fine. If the leg is straight, then you may bring it over your actual body towards you. Just registering, if you start shaking, please ease off. It's going a little bit too far, it shouldn't be shaking. And if it feels uncomfortable anytime, come out of it as well. Good, slowly bend through that leg. Now we're going to stretch through the gluteals. So we can take, you can still keep your band handy here actually. Okay, that's absolutely fine, or your towel. So if you are going to take it a little bit further, you wrap the band around the leg, okay? All right. And then from here, we can also just hold this stretch just by keeping the bottom foot on the floor and placing the hand on the inner thigh. Okay, just like that. You don't actually need the strap for this. I'm just getting ready for the next phase of this stretch. You could actually bring it up onto the toe, so it brings it a bit closer towards you. You can actually turn the leg out a little bit more. Oops, if you don't lose the leg. And then if you wish to, you can actually bring the leg up here, or if that is too much, you can wrap the band around the leg here, just to bring it in. Or you can even hold it with your hands if you feel like you've got a bit of a grip there. Just be careful as well that you pick the option of the stretch that suits your body best. If it feels uncomfortable, go back to the one where you were here instead. So keep the breath flowing. Again, if that feels nice, you could develop the stretch. Breathe in, exhale, just bring it in a little bit closer. Again, as I say in class, it may be that I don't see you actually pull it in closer. It could be so subtle but that you can feel it, so be mindful. And then when you're ready, slowly release off, and we'll go to the other side. So we come over, just to recap, left foot onto the knee, left hand onto your inside left knee. Stretch. If you wish to progress it further, you bring the right foot up onto the ball of foot, and that gives you a chance to push out the leg a little bit more. If you wish to come into your hip rotators, lateral hip rotators a bit more, you can use the band around the leg, hands around the thigh, or hands around the shin. Depends on how this knee's feeling really as well. And again, just feeling that awareness. So from one side to the other, it may feel a little bit tighter or easier, which is quite normal. And then if you want to stretch it a little bit further, breathe in, exhale, bring it in and hold for a few more seconds here. If it feels uncomfortable at any time, just simply put the leg back down on the floor. And when you're ready, slowly release. Okay, and then we're just going to open up the legs into a little bit of a stretch here with the palms facing up towards the ceiling. Just allowing, and again, if you can feel that's pulling through that pelvis, just bring the hands underneath here and just allow it to, the hands sit on the top of the fleshy part of the gluteal muscles, the bottom muscles. And then when you're ready, come over onto the side. We're just going to stretch through the front of the leg. So again, if you can't reach down to the ankle, just place the hand here, bring the knee in towards the chest, place the hand below the shin, run it down the leg a little bit, and then just take the leg away as far as you feel that you can. Just feeling that stretch through the front of the hip. The last stretch that we just did anyway does do the hips as well, so that's a bonus. If you cannot feel, you can get into this position. Always thinking about that breathing, because it's so easy to hold it. When you're ready, slowly release off, and then just bring the arm forwards and back. Just softly open up through here. So again, if you don't like holding this next stretch, I would thoroughly recommend that you just keep moving through this movement. And if you're ready, then you can allow yourself to stretch and hold the chest open. I wouldn't do this with kind of spinal conditions such as osteoporosis, holding for too long. If you're going to hold, bend the arm and decrease the range of motion that you're twisting. So you just open out a little bit to the side, not go into a full massive rotation. Just come back, and then from here we'll come up to seated. We'll do the other side in a moment, and I just want us to round through the back here and stretch away as if you're hugging a big teddy bear. So you're just allowing yourself to really kind of sink down a little bit, bring those arms forward. Breath into that back, and then release. Come round to the other side. We'll do the hip first, hand, knee into chest, hand onto knee, on the hand down the leg, and slowly take the leg away. Remember, you can also, I didn't mention this on the other side, but you can use a band around the leg as well, just to hold there. If not, the last stretch where we did the butterfly was stretching and opening the hips anyway. Just feeling stretch through the front of the thigh, possibly you'll feel it into the hip as well, allowing the breath just to flow really nicely here. And then when you're ready, relax that down and come into our chest opener. So we're opening and closing. So opening and closing. And if you're happy to hold that stretch, remember I said on the other side, you just decrease the range of motion for any spinal conditions. So you might just open here, hand on the shoulder, or if you want to go into a deeper stretch, there's no conditions, and you're feeling okay, you can open up into a full stretch. Focus on breathing into that rib that's facing up towards the sky. And slowly come back over. And from here, we're just going to come up into box position. Again, rounding through, inhale, exhale, round through, inhale back, exhale, round. And you can keep mobilizing, or you can actually hold the stretch. Slowly release, come up to a seated position, legs bent or straight in front or crossed, and just reach over to one side to feel the stretch through the side of the body here. Stretching away. Deep breath in, up and over, coming over to the other side. Inhale, exhale, stretching through that other side. And coming back through. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed your class today.